Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah. Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's fine. What about you?
Yeah, I also have been doing great and fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. Well,
Okay, so before we dive into this session, I want you to introduce first.
definitely, I would be more than delighted to tell you something about me. And this is our second conversation when we are having. Okay, so like now, I think I should break the ice on my introduction before without further ado. So this side, Lalit, I come all the way from Uttar Pradesh, Bulandshahr, and I completed my graduation in pharmacy, and it's been nearly 7+ years to me. I have been working in private organizations. And if I talk about my core of interest, so I like to listen to music, and this is all about me in a nutshell. Thank you so much to give me this wonderful and amazing opportunity.
Thank
Okay.
you so much. Right. So as you
Okay.
know that my name is Sakshi Chauhan, right? And I'm from Gwalior MP.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you so much
So
for the introduction, for quick introduction. Okay, so before diving into this session, I would like to know something very general thing from your end. So vividly, I would like to know that how's your practice been so far in this communication?
yeah, it's going well because when it comes to practice, you have to speak every day, and for speaking, you have to connect with anyone. So that's why I'm just trying to manage all these things and just trying to connect with people every day if possible. Sometimes it get difficult because you have a lot of things, but yes, if you have to be consistent and if you have to be perpetual in this thing, so you have to manage and you have to try, right? You have to do anyhow. So
Hmm,
that's
yeah,
how.
exactly.
For you.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because if we literally want to bring tremendous transformation in our communication, so that time we have to do everything deliberately, right?
Mm,
We are doing everything deliberately, so it becomes very spontaneous that we are gonna get definitely a tremendous effect in our communication, and that would be the
mm,
game changer uh, ripple effect in our communication, I would say. Okay,
exactly right.
so before diving into this session, I'm just telling you one thing that I'm gonna ask a couple of questions related to the spoken English, and the questions would be very common. Those were very low hanging fruit. You just need to comprehend them, and as per your way of like understanding, you just need to elaborate the answers. And if you want to skip the questions, you can just skip the questions as well. It's up to you completely, right?
Exactly. Sure.
Okay, so shall I start asking the questions?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so my first question is this, that now these days people are into the fluency as well, right? So my first question is this, that what is the fluency, and if it inhabitable or significant while speaking or not?
Okay, so fluency is something that is, yeah, we have to work, and that comes by practice, right? As much as you can practice, only then it will be you will be habitual to speak that word. Or fluency is something when you are not lacking word, when you are not using filler words, when you are not stucking, you are not taking too much pause, that is something fluency, right? So when you are very comfortable in speaking, sometimes if I talk about myself also, right, I try to avoid filler words, but still it happen. We struggle to find appropriate word, right?
Hmm.
So and fluency is something, yeah, that is really really important, and you have to work on that. And in order to become fluent, so first you have to work on your filler words, you have to work on vocabulary, and these are so many things.
Exactly. You have hit the nail on the head, and I completely accord with you, because I also have been going through with the same process, and mm, it was literally not a mundane thing, not a mediocre thing for me too as well. When I was in the stepping step, because that time I was not able to dominate or harness this communication skills, because that time I was not able to comprehend even that how to speak this language. Allow me a second.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry for inconvenience. Actually, I'm audible to you.
It's okay. Yeah, yeah, you are audible.
Yeah. So in order to grab lot many things in our in our conscience, so we have to go forward in the communication. Okay, and you have explained very well that we need to work on many more things when we are gonna jump into the sector of communication, and then we are gonna be much fluent, and we are not gonna be face lot many hindrances. Okay, so my next question is this, and that is also very common question. That thing is this, that now these days people are into overthinking a lot, right? People are in bewildered and aberration situation, that they are not able to comprehend this thing, that how to actually perceive overthinking, right? Because each and everybody, those who are living on this celestial earth, they all people are, including me and you as well. So they all people are having such kind of overthinking issues. So how do you perceive overthinking? And when you sometime or once in a blue moon have this overthinking, how do you handle that particular situation?
Right. So I would say that overthinking is something everyone is going through with this situation or with this mindset, I would say, right? Earlier it was not that much if I talk about personally myself. So earlier I was not into it, but right now I'm also going through with that situation. I overthink a lot sometimes, and then I realized, oh my god, what am I doing? I need to control my mind. I need to control myself. Then suddenly what I do, like, uh, what, suppose that I'm doing a study, okay, and it's just, from YouTube I'm doing study, and I'm taking online class, and suddenly I start thinking about something else, and the thoughts are connect, they are linked with each other, so that thought come, and then back to back it happens. So and then I realized, oh my god, what am I doing? I was doing something else. I mean, I thought related to exam or study something, but
Hmm.
other thought is exactly connected with that, and another thought is, so it becomes like a chain. And I feel that everybody face this problem, and it happens because when you start thinking of with one thought, one small thought, and you end up by thinking a lot of things. You spend 30 minutes, even sometime it happened I just lost completely, and sometime I just stop video and I start thinking. Then I realized, I figured it out that why is it so? I mean, I'm not able to control myself. Then definitely, because when we have figured it out what is the problem actually, so we need to find solution, because it is not right. You are just making an excuse, and I'm overthinking and a lot. I can't do study. So yeah, sometimes it bothers a lot, and then I realize I need to do something. Even while doing worship, also it happens. I'm doing worship, and suddenly thought comes, and I'm just doing something and thinking something else. So it happens. Then what I do for that, I just try to realize myself. It's okay. Just think. You know, try to stable my mind. Or
Okay.
sometime I do like, I used to watch a lot of Sandeep Maheshwari sir's videos. Nowadays I'm not watching. So he said, whenever you start thinking a lot, whenever you start overthinking, you have to see your thoughts. So sometime I do
Mm.
this, and I start chanting one name. I start saying myself, just relax, relax. I try to bring my focus there, like in mentally I try to bring my focus there, and I try to say myself like, relax, calm, it's happened. I mean, that is very very difficult, trust me, that is very difficult. But still we have to work on that. What happens with you? I want to know your opinions also.
Yes, exactly. So, in the case of overthinking, so as you mentioned that each and everybody, as I already also have mentioned, that each and everybody now these days having such kind of impediments in their life that they are overthinking a lot, including me and you, as you mentioned. But when we are overthinking, so everything has its pros and cons. So same goes to every overthinking as well. If we are overthinking a lot, so in the imagination, in the invision, we find thousands of ways to do a particular thing, right? By imagination, by overthinking. Sometimes if we are just overthinking on those things, like on those things, those who are not in our reach, right? If I'm like planning to have a Ferrari, so I am not capable to have Ferrari right now, so I'm not
Right.
financially stable that much. So that is the time wasting if you are overthinking like this. So if somebody is doing some kind of overthinking, like as you mentioned that you do overthinking in study, it means that you are definitely gonna bring some tremendous changes in your life, in your study, right? If you are thinking about the helicopter, if you're thinking about the plane, and you have nothing to do with those things, right? So this is completely out of the question that you're gonna get something in your life, and apart from the misery, there would be nothing in the life, as per my way of perceiving. Oh, when I do the overthinking, so I always exert to do such kind of overthinking so that I'm not gonna get any excruciating issue in my life by overthinking. So now these days, if you are connecting, now these days many ways have been executed by many saints, many yoga teachers, that if you are onboarding, if you are incorporating yoga and meditation in your life, so you'll be able to overcome from that situation of the overthinking, and you'll be able to become very delighted, very charming, very charismatic person.
Exactly. I do agree with this thing. And I want to add something here. Yoga is something one of my favorite activities, I would say. I
Hmm.
mean, playing, of course, playing is also very important. Like whatever, if we are, physically games. I think I have also heard one of my friends. She is runner, so even runners share this thing. When you run, so your mind get very relaxed, very calm. I think I don't have any experience because I'm not into this. But yeah, yoga is something one of my favorite activities, and I always try to do meditation also. I try to
Hmm. Yeah.
meditate. Again, this is very important to keep your
I
mind
have
stable.
I have witnessed couple of people, those who are very sophisticated on YouTube channels, and they are providing spectacular knowledge about yoga and meditation on YouTube. So I tried, I exerted to follow them, but literally it's not a low hanging fruit to amplify yourself in the yoga and meditation. In the stepping step, you're gonna definitely face lot many turbulence, but later on you are definitely gonna learn how to do meditation, because this is literally not a kickball to do meditation and all. Because your our mind is completely monkey mind. It jumps here and there all the time. If we are not able to focus on something, it means that we need some meditation in our life. We need some yoga in our life. So by onboarding yoga and meditation, we will definitely gonna get thousands of outcomes, and that is literally gonna make us a spectacular and a captivating personality later on.
Hmm, right. That's true.
Okay, tell me something about your like a risk that you already have taken in your life, and by taking that risk, you got thousands of benefits in your life, in your study, in anything.
Exactly, right. So yeah, this
So, have
is
you
good question.
first of all, have you ever taken any risk in your life so far?
Risk, I can say that is not. I mean, right now it feels like it was a very normal thing. Even if I share with people, so it sounds very normal thing. But yeah, that time it was risk. I'm talking about my college time when I was in my MSc, and I was of course Hindi medium, so I used to write my paper in Hindi, even in like from school time, like in 12th standard, in my BSc and in MSc also. Uh, I I was supposed to write my paper in Hindi, but that time teacher, I would say, abused us, not abused, but that is in a good manner. So they force us, and that you should at least try to write in Hindi. So that was the biggest risk, because that was the very first time I was about to write my exam in English, and it was the biggest risk, right? Because I may have to fail also. Because when you are not into this, for English medium student it is fine, and that time I was not good at speaking also. Yeah, reading is something, it is very common thing. I'm not talking about reading, not speaking, not writing. So that was the risk for me. And I was, even while writing in my exam, I learned, I read my question very well, but I have to write in English. And I was thinking that I need to, it was, translation was also very difficult task for that time, for that particular moment. I still remember that time, and I was very confused. I thought, okay, let's leave it, write in Hindi. Then I thought, no, no, I'll write in English anyhow. And anyhow, I'll just manage that. And I was very scared that time. So in first sem, when I have written my paper in Hindi, sorry, in English, and then I was passed that I completed that SAM. So, I gained some confidence. Like, okay, it was, my marks was very less, percentage was very less, but I was passed anyhow. So that was the biggest risk for me so far.
Yeah, in my graduation, I was also sailing in the same boat because that time I also had to take the bull by the horns, and I didn't know how to actually write something in English. Read reading that was okay because we have been doing this thing since our like schooling days. So I was not able to comprehend. I was not able to write something. So when I attended my examination for the first time, I was completely blown. I was completely astonished, like what I have to write in the examination. If I don't know something, I don't know the grammatical rule, I don't know something, but I just wrote something in that particular examination, and I literally was not able to comprehend this thing, but I was writing. I was just trying to mug up two line of answer of a question, and I was just writing that question unanimously. Like I was just writing that question periodically, and I was not able to even like understand how to make the structure and how to do and all. But
Hmm.
that was the moment. So that moment taught me like what is the value of communication. And in my whole graduation I didn't work on my communication and all, and I didn't go for the spoken English classes and all. And when I started my job, after completion of my 3 or 4 years in the job as well, then I started hitting or kick off this language, because that was the moment when I took turned from Hindi to English, and that was unprecedented completely for me because I never worked on my English communication, and that was the first moment when I got this outstanding and this spectacular opportunity to work on my communication.
Right. Great. Great. And
And let me tell you one more thing, that I also have completed all my schooling from Hindi medium. Like initially, I was in Sanskrit medium from first to eighth standard. So my base was in like Sanskrit medium. So when somebody used to ask me this thing that in which class do you study when I was kid? So that time I used to say to the people that I'm in Pratham, Dutiya, Tritiya, Chaturth, like this. So,
okay.
now these days, whenever I give a thought on those things when I used to do in my schooling days, so it makes me ridiculous completely. Like what I used to do in my childhood days, and now these days it is quite prevalent that you must know how to deal with the people in English communication. Now these days you can't go without this communication.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. Yes. So yeah, I want to say one thing. Exactly, this conversation is going very smooth, and I'm very very enjoying this. But the thing is that I have some urgent work. My
No issue.
students are calling from
No
outside,
issue.
so definitely we'll record. Like we'll have such kind of session again, and it was really amazing. And yeah, you are good at this language, I would say. The
Mhm.
vocabulary that you have used, so it's commendable.
Okay, thank you so much for praising me. Well, you are also a great and captivating speaker and eloquent speaker. And I'm looking forward to have next session with you. Thank you so much for connecting with me.
Thank you.